Good morning, beloved. What if today is the day everything changes? What if this very morning before the sun fully rises over your situation, God is already aligning miracles in the unseen, orchestrating your breakthrough behind the curtain of what you cannot yet see? Welcome to this sacred moment of encounter, a divine appointment with the Almighty. This is not just another morning. This is a morning of breakthrough. Prayer is not just a ritual, it is a weapon. It is the bridge between what is and what God says will be. And we have seen it, have not we? In hospital rooms where doctors said there was no hope, yet healing came. In barren marriages that found renewal. In broken hearts restored. In dry seasons that suddenly burst into bloom. I think of Maria, a mother who prayed over her son every morning for 10 years as he wandered in addiction. Everyone else gave up, but she did not, and just when it looked like all hope was lost, she received a call, "Mom, I am coming home." Today, he leads a recovery ministry, standing in the very freedom she once cried out for. And there is James, who lost everything: his job, his home, his purpose. He sat in a small church pew, no money in his pocket, but tears in his eyes as he whispered, "God, if you are real, I need you now." That week, a door opened, not just a job, but a calling, a fresh start. Prayer works. God moves, and faith persistent. Humble, even mustard seed faith moves mountains. This morning, I want to speak to those of you who are weary from waiting, to those pressing through storms, navigating valleys, and battling unseen giants. If you have been praying for a breakthrough, if you have been sowing in tears, get ready, because there are 3 unmistakable signs that God is preparing you for something supernatural. You did not stumble into this message. You were led here because heaven wants to remind you. Your breakthrough is coming. Let your heart open wide. Shake off the doubt. Turn your ears to his voice. The same God who parted seas, who raised the dead, who redeemed the unworthy is the same God who sees you right now. This is not the end. This is the threshold. As we prepare to dive into prayer, I invite you to posture your spirit with expectation, not timid hope, but bold belief. Because when God prepares a breakthrough, it is not a whisper, it is a declaration. Something shifts in the heavens. Chains fall. Doors open. Lives change. So take a breath and get ready. God is about to do something powerful. Dear Heavenly Father, right now, I feel it deep within my spirit. You are stirring. You are shifting. You are preparing something far greater than what I can see. Lord, I know you do not allow the shaking without a purpose. And I believe with every fiber of my being that this season is not my end, it is the stage you are setting for breakthrough. Father, I come before you this morning, not with polished words or perfect faith, but with an open heart, trembling with expectation. I see the signs. I feel the stretching, the pruning, the pressing, and I refuse to believe it is all for nothing. God, I sense that you are up to something mighty, and even though my flesh grows weary, My soul shouts in faith. You are preparing me for something I cannot yet comprehend. Lord, I declare today that I will not despise the waiting. I will not curse the crushing, because one of the signs that you are preparing me for breakthrough is the increase in pressure, and I choose to see it not as punishment, but as divine preparation. You are building in me a resilience that hell cannot break. You are shaping me through trials that are teaching me to war on my knees. Father, I thank you that when everything feels like it is falling apart in your hands, it is actually falling into place. I see the isolation, God. I feel it. And I know that is not rejection, it is redirection. That is the second sign I cling to this morning. You separate those you are about to elevate. You call your chosen ones into the wilderness, not to abandon them, but to speak to them, mold them, and reveal to them the anointing that cannot be birthed in the crowd. So when doors close, when friendships fade, when I walk alone, help me remember that even Jesus withdrew before he was revealed. My loneliness is not a curse. It is a holy invitation to go deeper with you. And Lord, the third sign I hold onto with trembling hope is the stirring of holy dissatisfaction. You are breaking my comfort to birth something eternal. The things that used to satisfy me no longer do. I find myself weeping without knowing why, longing for more. Not in the world, but in you. There is a fire building in my bones, and I know it is the fire of revival. I know it is the cry of the Spirit, groaning for a breakthrough. Let me not suppress it. Let me not explain it away. Instead, I yield. I yield to what you are doing, Lord. Even when I do not understand, I surrender because I trust the hand that holds the plan. God, I cry out for the power of your Holy Spirit to flood every dry place in me. Let your supernatural strength invade my weakness. Let your authority rise within me like a lion. Teach me to walk in victory even before the walls fall. Teach me to pray bold, mountain-moving prayers even while I am still in the valley. Teach me to worship like the answer's already here, because faith sees the finish line even when the road disappears. Father, I break agreement with every lie that says I am stuck, forgotten, or forsaken. I rebuke every whisper of the enemy that says this is where it ends. I silence the voice of fear with the voice of truth, and I say, I am being prepared. I am being positioned. Heaven is aligning on my behalf. I declare that breakthrough is not a myth, it is my portion. Healing is not a fantasy, it is my inheritance. Victory is not delayed, it is being carved out by the very hand of God. So I will press in, even when it hurts. I will praise you, even in the fire. I will pray, even when all I have are tears, because I know that the moment I let go, you begin to move. I know that in my weakness, your power is perfected. I know that this crushing is the oil being released. This fire is refining gold. And this silence is where you are whispering secrets that only the surrendered can hear. Father, awaken my discernment to see these signs. Help me not mislabel your process as punishment. Give me eyes to see in the Spirit what I cannot yet touch in the natural. Teach me to stay faithful in the middle, not just when the miracle comes, but while I am still walking through the mess. Holy Spirit, Breathe upon me now. Fall like fire on my altar. Let this prayer not just be words, but a war cry. Let it shake every stagnant place in my soul and awaken me to the destiny you have designed. I want to walk in what you have ordained. I want to step into the breakthrough you have promised, not just for me, but for generations after me. Oh God, I feel you near. I feel the veil tearing. I feel chains loosening. I feel heaven drawing close. This is not the end, this is the threshold. This is where everything shifts. And I will not miss what you are doing. I will not grow weary in well-doing. I will press. I will pray. I will praise. Because you are not just preparing the breakthrough, you are preparing me. Right here, in the quiet of this sacred morning, I lift my heart to you not to ask for escape, but to surrender deeper into what you are doing in my life. I sense it, Lord, like the wind before the rain. You are preparing something beyond what I can imagine. My soul knows it well, even when my circumstances try to contradict it. And so I come not with demands, but with a cry. Prepare me. Shape me. Strengthen me for the breakthrough I can feel rumbling in the distance. Father, I see how you are moving in the shadows of my life. Even when the world calls it coincidence, I call it divine orchestration. Even when nothing around me looks different, I choose to believe that everything is changing in the spiritual realm. Because you are a God who moves in silence before you move in power. You are a God who molds in secret before you reveal in glory. So many times, I have questioned the shaking. I have feared the storms, misunderstood the closed doors, cried over what felt like rejection. But now I see these are not signs of abandonment. They are the very fingerprints of your preparation. You are teaching me to trust not in what I see, but in who you are. You are not just changing my circumstances. You are changing me. And is not that the deeper miracle? This pressure, I feel it is holy ground. The moments that feel heavy, the burdens that one lift, the questions that echo in the dark, they are all signs that you are stretching my spirit to hold more of you. You never anoint without first refining. You never promote without first pruning. And so I lean into the tension, into the discomfort, knowing it is not the end, but the beginning of transformation. Lord, I feel the isolation. I confess, there have been nights I have wondered if you still hear me, if you still see me. But I remember now, Jesus, even you withdrew to lonely places to commune with the Father. You left the crowds, not because you did not care, but because deeper power is birthed in secret. And so if you are calling me to solitude, I will go. If you are stripping away distractions and removing voices, I will listen only to yours. Let this isolation become intimacy. Let this stillness become revelation. Let this silence become the sacred ground where I meet you like never before. I do not want shallow connection. Lord, I want a well that runs deep. I want to walk with you that can weather the storms, that does not rely on feelings or signs, but on the unshakable truth of your presence. Let this wilderness become my sanctuary. I feel the dissatisfaction too. Father, that restless ache that tells me there must be more. Not more success, not more applause, not more things but more of you. I cannot settle anymore for surface-level faith. I cannot be content with spiritual routines. I need a fresh outpouring. I need the fire of the Holy Spirit to consume every dead thing in me. Burn away the complacency. Burn away the fear. Burn away the need to control. Make room in me for the miracle. Lord, even now, I feel you stirring. It is like the ground beneath my feet is trembling, not from fear but from promise. You are near. You are close. You are not a distant God watching from afar. You are the Father who leans in close, who catches every tear, who reads the words I cannot speak. You are the God who knows my heart's cry before it reaches my lips. You are not intimidated by my weakness. You are drawn to it. And so I bring you all of me, not just the strong parts, not just the faith-filled declarations. I bring you my exhaustion. I bring you the parts of me that still question, still doubt, still wrestle. I bring you the hidden places where disappointment has built walls, and I say, tear them down. Replace every wall with your presence. Rebuild me, not in my image, but in yours. Holy Spirit, breathe on every broken place. Fill every empty room in my heart. Be the fire in my bones, the whisper in my spirit, the strength in my steps. Teach me how to pray not just with words, but with surrender. Show me how to wait, not passively, but with expectation. Let my faith rise not because of what I see, but because of who I know you to be. You are faithful. You are good. You are able. You are not late. You are not silent. You are strategic. You are sovereign. You are the God who turns waiting into wonder, silence into songs, and brokenness into beauty. You do not waste a single moment. Every tear is caught. Every prayer is heard. Every act of faith is written in heaven's books. You see me. You are working. Father, when I am tempted to give up, remind me of your faithfulness. When the night grows long, remind me that joy comes in the morning. When fear whispers that I will never change, remind me that you finish every good work you start. You are the author and the finisher not just of my story, but of every chapter, every sentence, every pause. Even when I do not understand the plot, I trust the pen in your hand. Father, when the days seem endless and my strength feels spent, remind me that it is not by my might, not by my power, but by your Spirit. I cannot do this on my own, and you never ask me to. You only ask that I abide, that I stay close, that I trust. So here I am again, abiding in the shadow of the Almighty, hiding beneath the shelter of your wings, even in the storm, even in the uncertainty. I choose to remain under your covering. Teach me, Lord, to live surrendered, not just in moments of crisis, but in every breath. Let surrender be my lifestyle, not just my reaction. Let faith be my first response, not my last resort. In the stillness of this morning, I lay down every weight, every burden I have been carrying, every outcome I have been trying to control, every fear that has crept in while I was not looking. I lay them at your feet and I say, you are God, and I trust you. You are not just the God of the mountaintop. You are the God of the valley. You are not only present in my victories, you are deeply involved in my battles. You step into my chaos. You sit with me in the ashes. You anoint my head with oil in the very presence of my enemies. And I declare today, surely your goodness and mercy are not behind me. They are chasing me down. Even now, in the places I least expect, you are pouring out mercy. You are releasing favor. You are orchestrating divine appointments. Lord, help me to see it. Help me to see beyond the limitations of what my eyes perceive. Open the eyes of my spirit to recognize the signs of your hand. When it looks like the door has slammed shut, help me to realize it is because you are opening one that leads to destiny. When the relationships that once defined me begin to fade, let me not mourn what you are removing. Let me celebrate what you are making room for. Because you are preparing me. You are preparing me for the kind of breakthrough that transforms not just my surroundings, but my soul. A breakthrough that leaves no room for pride. Because only you could have made it happen. A breakthrough so supernatural, so complete, that it testifies of your glory to everyone around me. That is the kind of move I am waiting for, not a temporary relief, but a divine reversal. Not just answered prayer, but a complete redirection into your purposes. I believe you are the God who does exceedingly, abundantly, above all I can ask or imagine. And so I refuse to settle for less. I want to lower my prayers to match my circumstances. I will raise my expectation to match your promise. Because you are the God of miracles, the God who split seas, who fed thousands with fragments, who walked on waves, who speaks and universes respond, who calls the dead to life and the broken to wholeness. So yes, Father, I expect you to move. I believe you are still in the business of doing the impossible, and I know that signs of your preparation may not look glamorous. They may feel like pain. They may taste like loss, but deep down, my spirit knows. You are working all things together for good, not some things, not most things. All things. Even this. Especially this. And even as I walk through this preparation, even as I feel stretched, tested, emptied, I ask not for it to end quickly, but for it to do its holy work in me. Refine me, Lord. Remove every impurity that clings to my soul. Strip me of all that is not rooted in you. Let nothing remain that cannot carry the weight of your glory. I do not want to be impressive, I want to be anointed. I do not want recognition, I want revelation. Father, I sense you drawing me closer, not just to bless me, but to transform me. I sense that the fire is not here to destroy me, but to purify me. You are teaching me to trust not only in your ability to bring the breakthrough, but in your wisdom to prepare me for it. Because what good is the blessing if I am not ready to carry it? What good is the open door if my character cannot sustain what you want to entrust to me? So mold me in the secret place. Teach me in the stillness. Let the weight of your presence press out every lesser thing within me. Cut away the pride, the fear, the doubt, the need for approval. Cut away everything that does not look like Jesus. Dante, let me rush through this process. Dante, let me despise the hidden seasons. Because I know that when you hide someone, you are not punishing them, you are protecting them. You are preparing them. You are growing roots that can be seen, but will soon support branches bursting with fruit. Lord, let me not envy the fruit of others when you are still deepening my roots. Let me not compare my process to someone else's promise. You are not slow in keeping your word. You are deliberate. You are wise. And you see what I do not see. You know the weight of the breakthrough I have been praying for. You know the pressure it will bring, the spiritual maturity it will require, the obedience it will demand. So if you are taking your time with me, it is because you love me too much to hand me something I am not ready to steward. God, I thank you for the signs, those sacred indicators that you are moving, even when everything around me says otherwise. I thank you for the tension I feel between what is and what is coming, because that tension tells me something is being born. Something is changing. Something is awakening, and I refuse to give in to fear, to doubt, to resignation, because even when I do not feel it, you are the God who never stops working. I remember now that the oil only flowed when the vessels were empty. So if I feel poured out, if I feel emptied and undone, it only means I am ready for a fresh outpouring. Fill me again, Holy Spirit, not with shallow inspiration, but with deep, sustaining fire. Fill me with endurance when I am tired, with peace when I am surrounded by chaos, with joy when my heart grows heavy. Let the oil of your presence saturate every corner of my life, even the ones I have tried to keep hidden. Make me fearless in the face of the unknown. Give me the courage to step when I can see the ground beneath my feet. Give me the faith to walk forward when all I have is your whisper saying, trust me. I do not want to live a safe, calculated life. I want to live a spirit-led one. I want to risk it all if it means walking in the fullness of what you created me for. Let my life be a living testimony to the power of obedience. Let me go wherever you lead, no matter the cost. And Father, help me to see this process with new eyes. Don't let me call it punishment when it is really preparation. Don't let me mistake pruning for rejection. You prune what you love. You refine what you call precious. You discipline those you call sons and daughters. So I won't resist the discipline. I won't run from the breaking. I will lean in. I will stay close. I will say, yes, Lord, even when it hurts. I give you permission to interrupt my plans. I give you permission to reroute my life. Take my timeline and tear it up if it does not align with your divine design. I give you my dreams, my ambitions, my desires, and I place them all on the altar. Burn away what is not from you. Breathe on what is. I do not want to build anything in my own strength. I want your breath in everything I do. Lord, I know now that the waiting is not wasted. You are not just building a future for me. You are building me for the future. You are forging strength in the hidden places. You are shaping faith in the dark. You are stretching my spirits so it can hold the magnitude of what you have prepared. So even when I feel suspended between two seasons, no longer who I was, and not yet who I will become, I declare this space holy, because you are here in the in-between. This holy tension, God, it refines me. It teaches me to listen more closely, to walk more carefully, to pray more deeply. It teaches me to stop performing and start abiding, to stop striving and start receiving, to stop chasing outcomes and start chasing your heart. You are stripping away every crutch, every false security, until all that remains is the unshakable truth that you alone are enough. Father, I feel your love pressing into my soul, not a soft, passive love, but a fierce, consuming one, the kind that refuses to let me stay small, the kind that will not settle for half of who you made me to be, the kind that breaks chains and demolishes strongholds and lifts my head when shame tries to bow it low. Your love is not gentle with my sin, but it is tender with my soul. It confronts, it heals, it restores, and I welcome it fully. You are calling me deeper, not to impress you, but to become more like you. And in that calling, I know there will be cost. There will be things I must let go of, old identities, old mindsets, old habits that no longer fit where you are taking me. Give me the courage to release them without regret. Remind me that nothing I surrender to you is ever truly lost. It is only transformed. Return to me in a purer, stronger form. I see it, Lord. I feel it in my bones. This is not the end, it is the unfolding, the shedding, the becoming. You are breaking me open to birth something eternal. You are pressing down to pour something out. You are letting things fall apart so that what is unshakable can rise. I won't fight the falling anymore. I will trust that what remains is what cannot be taken. And in this place of surrender, I ask you to teach me to pray not just for breakthrough, but from breakthrough. Let me speak from the victory you have already declared. Let me declare what heaven is saying, not what earth is fearing. Let me pray with the authority you have placed inside of me, blood-bought, spirit-filled, kingdom-grounded authority. I am not a beggar. I am a beloved child of the Most High. And I will no longer pray like I have been abandoned. I will pray like I have already been answered. Remind me that breakthrough is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet shift, a changed heart, a renewed mind, a new thought where there used to be fear, a gentle nudge toward courage. And in those small shifts, great deliverance is born. So I celebrate the unseen. I rejoice in the intangible. I praise you for every invisible victory, for the battles you have already won that I have not even seen the outcome of yet. Let your Spirit dwell richly in me, Lord. Let it overflow into every area of my life, my thoughts, my choices, my relationships, my dreams. Let the fruit of the Spirit become the culture of my soul. I do not want to just have moments of faith. I want a life marked by faith. Let my obedience echo in eternity. Let my love reflect your heart. Let my joy testify that you are real. Keep drawing me. Holy Spirit, when I wander, pull me back. When I falter, uphold me. When I grow numb, awaken me again. Dante, let me get used to distance. Dante, let me normalize dryness. Keep me hungry. Keep me tender. keep me seeking, knocking, asking until what I carry is more than I could ever hold alone. And when the breakthrough comes, because I believe it will come, let me never forget the one who gave it. Let me not worship the gift, but the giver. Let me not be consumed by the answer, but by the one who answered. Let the blessing never take the place of the blesser. Let gratitude become my anthem, humility my covering, and worship my constant response. Lord, how could I ever forget the nights I wept quietly, when no one else knew what I carried, yet you did. You saw every moment I almost gave up, every time I smiled through the H, every prayer I whispered beneath the covers. You were there. You always were. And though I did not always feel you, though my heart sometimes questioned and my soul sometimes trembled, you never let me go. Not once. You kept me. You covered me. You held me together when I did not know I was falling apart. So now, I no longer fear the silence. I no longer dread the delay, because I see what it is your mercy at work in disguise. If the breakthrough had come when I wanted it, I would not have been ready. If the door had opened too soon, I might have walked through it half-formed. You, in your wisdom, withheld not to punish, but to protect. And for that, I thank you. Thank you for the delays that saved me, for the detours that refined me, for the pauses that taught me to praise even when nothing moved. You have taught me to find you in the shadows. You have trained my ears to hear the quiet whisper, not just the thunder. You have made me steady in the waiting, strong in the silence, anchored in the storm, because you are not just the God of sudden breakthroughs. You are the God of slow miracles, the kind that build over time, the kind that reshape identity, the kind that leave me wondering how I ever lived without the depth you have now brought into my soul. And even as I feel you leading me deeper, I sense more is being asked, not more effort, but more surrender, not more striving, but more stillness. I hear you calling me into waters that cannot be measured, into trust that has no borders. And though my flesh resists, my spirit says yes. Yes to the depths. Yes to the refining. Yes to the things that break me open and teach me how to carry glory without crumbling under the weight of it. I say yes to being misunderstood. Yes to walking alone, if that is the path you have chosen. Yes to being hidden until you decide to reveal, because I am no longer chasing visibility, I am chasing obedience. I am no longer hungry for validation, I am hungry for encounter. I am no longer desperate to be seen by men, I only want to be known by you. To walk in step with you, to breathe the air of heaven even while my feet walk the dust of earth. Take me further, Lord. Peel back every layer of self-preservation. Tear down every wall I built out of fear. Dismantle every defense I constructed from disappointment. And in their place, build trust. Build intimacy. Build a quiet confidence that cannot be shaken by outcomes or timelines or the opinions of others. I want to be so rooted in you that even if everything around me shifts, I stand unmoved, because I am planted in the eternal. I hear you saying, "Let go." And though my hands tremble, I obey. Let go of what once defined me. Let go of what I thought I needed. Let go of the need to understand it all before I move. Teach me to walk by faith, not by familiarity. Teach me to follow your cloud, even when I do not know where it will rest. Teach me to lean not on my understanding, but to throw myself fully into your arms, trusting that you will catch me, because you always have. And as you strip away the old, I ask for new vision, eyes that see through the lens of eternity, a heart that beats in rhythm with yours, ears that can discern your voice in the noise of this world. Give me divine perspective so I do not just survive the process, but thrive within it. Let me be the kind of believer who praises before the walls fall, who dances in the rain before the sky clears, who declares victory while still surrounded by enemies. Fill me, Holy Spirit. Saturate every dry place. Revive what has withered. Reignite what has dimmed. Baptize me afresh with fire that consumes every trace of compromise. I do not want to carry old oil into a new season. I do not want to walk in yesterday's anointing. I want a fresh infilling one that overflows into my every word, my every act, my every breath. Let the evidence of your presence in me be undeniable. Make me dangerous to darkness. Let my prayers tear down strongholds. Let my worship shift atmospheres. Let my faith offend fear. Let my hope expose hopelessness. Let my very existence announce, a child of God walks here, not because of who I am, but because of whose I am. Not because of my perfection, but because of my posture kneeling. Yielded, surrendered, and God, as you take me higher, do not let my character lag behind my calling. Let humility always walk before me. Let compassion temper my boldness. Let love be my language, even in conflict. Let holiness not be my performance, but my posture, a natural byproduct of living close to you. Let my inner world be clean, not just my outer image. Let integrity be my default, not my effort. Let me be the kind of vessel you can trust with influence, with miracles, with answers to prayers that echo through generations. And if the cost of that is hiddenness for a while longer, let it be so. If it means being overlooked for a time, I accept it. Because I am not here to be famous, I am here to be faithful. I am not here to go viral, I am here to go vertical. Everything I need is in you. And if the world misunderstands this quiet, if they misread my silence, if they think nothing is happening, they do not see what you see. They do not hear what you hear. They do not know what you are birthing beneath the surface of my surrender. So let them wonder. Let them question. I will not explain. I will not justify. I will only keep building an altar where you and I can meet again and again. Father, there are days when the weight of becoming feels heavier than I imagined, when the shaping of who you have called me to be presses on my chest, like 1,000 unspoken expectations. But then you remind me, you are not asking me to perform. You are asking me to yield. You are not demanding perfection. You are inviting me into transformation. So I exhale the burden I was never meant to carry, and I inhale the peace of knowing I am safe in your hands. You are not rushing me. You are not measuring my progress by the pace of the world. You see me through eyes of eternity, and you call me beloved even when I am still becoming. I do not need to impress you. I only need to be with you. That changes everything. The striving ceases. the pressure lifts, and in its place comes the holy awareness that I am already fully known, fully loved, and fully embraced by the one who made me. Teach me to dwell here, to live not for your approval, but from it, to minister not for validation, but out of overflow. Let the secret place be my source. Let communion be my fuel. Let intimacy with you be more than a moment. Let it be my atmosphere, my rhythm, my breath. I want to carry your presence like oil upon my skin, noticeable not because I announce it, but because it lingers in every word I speak, every step I take. Lord, as you continue preparing me for what you have promised, protect me from distraction. Guard my gaze from what glitters but does not glorify you. Shut the mouths of comparison that whisper that I am behind, that I am unseen, that I have missed it. Silence every voice that does not sound like yours. Let your word be louder than every lie. Let your truth anchor me when the winds of insecurity try to pull me under. And when I see others walking in what I have prayed for, let my heart respond with celebration, not jealousy. Let me bless their harvest while I am still sowing my own seed. Let me dance at their victory while I am still contending for mine. Because what you have for me will not pass me by. You are not a God of scarcity. You are a Father of abundance. And if you are blessing my neighbor, then surely you are in the neighborhood, and my time is coming. Keep my heart soft in the waiting. Don't let delay make me bitter. Don't let hardship make me hard. Don't let disappointment make me cynical. Instead, let every unanswered prayer be an altar where I meet you. Let every closed door become a doorway to deeper trust. Let every setback refine my character until my faith becomes unshakable, not because everything has gone right, but because I have chosen to believe even when it did not. You are preparing me, yes, but not just for a breakthrough. You are preparing me for a revelation of your heart that will change how I see everything. You are awakening me to glory, not as something far off, but as something you are weaving into the very fabric of my ordinary days. Let me see your fingerprints in the mundane. Let me hear your whisper in the routine. Let me find your presence in the moments that seem too small for miracles, because with you, nothing is small. God, I feel the tension in my spirit, not a tension of fear, but of awakening. It is as though the very ground within me is shifting, as though something buried long ago is beginning to stir again. And I know it is you. I know it is your spirit, moving through my soul like a gentle tide, bringing with it forgotten dreams, renewed vision, and the courage to believe again. You have not called me to comfort. You have called me to purpose. And sometimes purpose looks like pruning. Sometimes it looks like walking roads I would not have chosen. But you never lead without intention. You never call without equipping. So even when I do not feel qualified, even when I look at myself and see only flaws and failures, I choose to look again, and this time, I look through your eyes. In your gaze, I am not my past. I am not my wounds. I am not my worst moment. I am a vessel of promise. I am a child of covenant. I am a carrier of light in a world that grows darker by the day. You have placed eternity inside of me, and no amount of earthly disappointment can snuff out what you have ignited. So I fan the flame, I refuse to let it go out, even if it flickers in the wind. I will shield it with prayer, with praise, with perseverance. Father, make me bold, make me brave, not with a loud voice or boastful confidence, but with the kind of quiet strength that stands firm when others waver. The kind of faith that says, even if he does not, still I will trust. The kind that kneels before battle and rises with holy fire in its eyes. The kind that believes in resurrection, even in the presence of the tomb. I ask not just for a breakthrough in my circumstances, but for a breakthrough in my thinking. Renew my mind. Break every mental chain that keeps me bound to fear, shame, or limitation. Show me who I am in you, not who the world says I am, not who my past says I am, but who heaven has declared me to be. Let that truth rise up and silence every other voice. Let it become the foundation upon which I stand when the winds of life come howling. You did not call me to barely survive. You called me to overcome. You called me to live abundantly, not in riches or reputation, but in joy, in peace, in purpose that cannot be taken away. You called me to be light in the darkness, to walk into broken spaces and bring healing simply because I carry you. What a privilege it is to be yours, to bear your name, to reflect your heart to a world so desperate for truth. And yet, even as you call me outward, you never stop calling me inward. You keep drawing me back to the well. You keep reminding me that what I pour out must first be poured in. So I come again to be filled, not with noise, not with business, but with you. Let your words saturate me. Let your presence mark me. Let your spirit lead me step by step, even if it is one trembling step at a time. And when I grow tired, when the weight feels too heavy, when I feel like I have prayed the same prayer 1,000 times, remind me that you are storing every tear, recording every plea, weaving every moment into a masterpiece I cannot yet see. You are the author, and this story is not over. Not while I still have breath in my lungs. Not while your spirit still lives in me. And Father, when the night stretches long and the dawn seems slow to rise, keep my heart from despair. Let every star in the darkness remind me that even when I cannot see the sun, light still exists. You are the light that darkness cannot overcome. You are the promise that does not fail. You are the hand that steadies me when the winds howl fiercest. Let me lean into you, not away from you. When the storm rages, let my posture be one of trust, not trembling. There have been moments, you know them well, when I nearly walked away from this road, when the burden felt too great and the silence too loud. But even then, something within me whispered, "Stay." It was you. Your grace, invisible but undeniable. Your presence, tender but tenacious. You would not let me fall, and so I stayed. And I keep staying, because I have tasted and seen that even in the wilderness, you are good. And the wilderness, Father, it has taught me. It has taught me to love the manna, not just the milk and honey. It has taught me that even when provision does not look like abundance, it is still a sign of your care. I have learned to collect daily grace, to gather the fresh mercy you provide each morning. You did not promise excess in the desert. You promised enough, and you have been faithful to that word. Enough peace, enough strength, enough hope to take one more step. So when the enemy whispers, you are still stuck, nothing's changing, I will shout back the truth. I am being led by a God who sees the whole map when I only see a corner. Led by a shepherd who knows the way through every valley. I am not stuck, I am being prepared. I am not abandoned, I am being refined. And what you refine, you always reveal in time. You are teaching me to be content with being hidden, not as punishment, but as process. In hiddenness, roots go deep, in secret places. Oil is pressed. In the shadows, character is shaped. I am beginning to see now that what feels like obscurity is actually protection. You are building in me the weight to carry what I have asked for, because without depth, success is dangerous. Without intimacy, calling becomes performance. So you call me back again and again, not to the platform, but to the prayer room, not to the crowd, but to your heart. Keep me there. Father, keep me humble when doors open. Keep me grounded when dreams begin to manifest. Let the blessing never outgrow the foundation. Let my private life be stronger than my public voice. Let me never rise faster than my surrender. And if it takes longer than I hoped, then let it take longer. For what you are building is not fragile, it is eternal. And in this season, Lord, I also pray for discernment, not just to recognize what is good, but to distinguish what is from you. Teach me to separate noise from truth, hype from holiness, the urgent from the important. Let me not chase open doors just because they are open. Let me chase your voice. And if that voice leads me to shut a door, even one I longed for, let me obey without delay. Make me sensitive to your leading, even in the smallest nudge, even in the gentle restraint. I do not want to be the kind of follower who only moves when you shout. I want to be the one who responds to your whisper, who stops mid-step because I feel your pull, who walks into the unknown because I sense your peace, who lives not by sight, but by spirit. You are developing within me a rhythm of trust, a cadence that walks slower than the world, but deeper than the surface. A lifestyle that bows low so that your name can be lifted high. A way of living that makes no sense to the natural mind, but is rich in kingdom fruit. So let others race ahead if they must. I will walk with you. I will wait with you. I will war in the spirit and worship through the night, because I know who holds my future. And in the waiting, continue to heal what is hidden. Touch the places in me I do not even have words for. The wounds I have carried so long. I forgot they were wounds. The lies I agreed with in childhood. The shame I buried beneath layers of performance. Bring it all to the light, not to shame me, but to restore me. To bring truth where lies once ruled, to bring beauty where ashes once lay thick. You are not afraid of my mess. You are not intimidated by my brokenness. You are the potter who sees beyond the cracks and envisions the masterpiece. So take every shattered place and shape it with mercy. Let your fingerprints be seen in the reconstruction of my soul. Make me whole not just in what people see, but in what only you see. This is the kind of breakthrough I need, not just one that changes my circumstances, but one that changes me, one that reshapes how I see you, how I see myself, and how I see the world, one that removes every ceiling I have placed over your power, every box I have built around your goodness. Break me out of old patterns, break me into new glory. I long to see you move not just in the world around me, but in the deep wells within me. Let living waters spring up where deserts once ruled. Let the seeds planted in pain grow into testimonies of your faithfulness. Let every season of waiting produce the fruit of endurance, the fragrance of trust, and the harvest of intimacy. Lord, I sense you drawing me into places I have never been before, not because you want to overwhelm me, but because you want to stretch me. You want to show me that there is more depth, more fire, more glory than I have yet dared to imagine. And to walk into more, I must lay down what is safe. I must release what is familiar. I must trust you when I cannot trace you. I feel you calling me out upon the waters, not the calm ones, but the wild ones, the ones that defy logic, the ones that demand faith. And I say yes, yes, even if my knees tremble. Yes, even if I do not feel ready. Yes, because I would rather walk with you into the unknown than stay behind and miss the miracle. I do not want a life that looks good on the outside, but is empty on the inside. I want substance. I want presence. I want you. Take me into deeper waters, Father, into places where only faith can carry me, into realms where obedience becomes my oxygen, and surrender my compass. I want to know what it means to be so led by you that I stop needing every answer before I take the next step, that I stop calculating the cost because I have already decided you are worth it, that I stop measuring the size of the waves and start focusing on the size of my God. And when fear comes, as it surely will, remind me of who I am. Remind me that I am not a slave to fear, but a child of God, that I have been sealed by your Spirit, marked by your love, chosen by your hand. Remind me that the same power that raised Christ from the dead lives in me, breathes in me, speaks through me. I am not weak, I am wielding resurrection power. I am not lost, I am led by the one who holds the stars in place. So I will walk forward, even if all I have is a whisper from you. I will go, even if the wind howls louder than my confidence. I will go, even if I have never been this way before. I will go, because the path does not have to make sense to be sacred. You walk beside me, and that is enough. The ground beneath my feet may shake, but the ground of your truth never will. Let my yes echo through the heavens. Let it resound in the spirit realm as a declaration of alignment. I am not just hoping for breakthrough, I am partnering with it. I am not just waiting for you to move, I am moving with you. And even when I cannot see where it is all going, I will keep my eyes on you. You are the author of my faith, and you never lose the plot. Lord, I feel you peeling back the layers I have used to shield myself from pain, from disappointment, from vulnerability. I have grown used to hiding behind strength, behind doing, behind business. But here in your presence, all of that falls away, because I know you are not impressed by my effort. You are moved by my surrender. You do not ask me to be strong. You ask me to be real. And so I bring you my bare heart. I bring the places I still do not understand. The prayers I have whispered for years. The fears I am too tired to carry another day. I bring my silent questions, the ones I do not dare speak aloud. What if it never happens? What if I am not enough? What if I misunderstood what you said? I do not hide those questions from you anymore. You already know them. And still, you stay. You sit with me in my humanity. You weep when I weep. You rejoice over every tiny act of courage, even when I can barely lift my head. You do not rush me through the valley. You walk with me in it. You do not scold me when my faith falters. You hold me until it rises again. You are the shepherd who does not just lead me to still waters. You sit beside me when all I see is dust. So I ask you again, Holy Spirit, come, not just to comfort, but to fill. Fill the caverns where grief still echoes. Fill the cracks I have patched with temporary fixes. Flood my soul with the kind of peace that does not come from answers, but from nearness. Let me be so aware of your presence that fear no longer finds room to speak. Let my heart beat with the rhythm of eternity, steady and unwavering. I want to be so close to you that your whisper becomes louder than the enemy's shout, so rooted in your word that truth becomes my instinct. So saturated in your spirit that breakthrough is not something I chase, but something I carry. Because you do not just want to give me breakthrough. You want to make me a vessel of it. You want to flow through me into dry places, into broken people, into desolate lands. So do it, God, not for my fame, not for applause, but for your glory. Let my life be the evidence that you are real, that you are near, that you still heal, still restore, still resurrect. Let every scar point to your redemption. Let every delay declare your sovereignty. Let every yes and every no become part of the testimony you are writing with my life. You are not just preparing me for a moment. You are shaping me for a lifetime of walking in step with you. And that shaping does not happen all at once. It happens in the quiet sacrifices, in the secret decisions to believe you when it would be easier to doubt. It happens in the unseen places where I choose to forgive, to release, to trust. And those moments, though small to others, are sacred to you. You see them. You honor them. And so, even when it feels like no one notices, even when the crowd grows silent and the applause fades, I will continue to choose you. Because I am not living for visibility, I am living for your voice. If you see me, if you smile over me, if you are pleased, then I am full. My identity is not in what I do for you, but in who I am to you. I am yours. Completely. Eternally. Undeniably yours. Let this truth anchor me, that I am not working to earn love, I am living from it. I am not striving to reach you, I am already held. I am not building a ladder to heaven, I am a temple in whom heaven already dwells. Let every striving cease, every comparison fall away, every insecurity be silenced under the weight of your unchanging affection. Because your love is not measured in outcomes. It is poured out in grace, unmerited and unwavering. So when the process feels long, remind me that deep roots take time, that strong foundations are not built overnight, that glory that lasts is never rushed. And I do not want momentary fire that burns bright and fades. I want steady flame. I want oil in my lamp when the night grows darkest. I want the kind of faith that endures, that does not flinch in the face of impossibility, because it remembers who its God is. I want to live awake, spiritually alert, emotionally engaged, intimately connected, not numb, not distracted, not on autopilot. Let my spirit be alive with wonder. Let my heart stay tender, even in a world that grows colder. Let me be the one who still sees beauty, who still believes in goodness, who still chooses hope even when it is easier to harden. Make me soft in your hands, but unshakable in my spirit. I am not afraid of being broken anymore, Lord, because I have seen what you do with broken things. You make them whole. You make them holy. You make them vessels of glory. So take every shattered expectation, every fractured dream, every piece of what I thought life would be, and refashion it according to your divine vision. Breathe into the dry bones and let them rise again. You have never asked for perfection. You have asked for surrender. And today, Lord, I bring you all that I am: unpolished, unfinished, undeserving. I lay down the version of myself I have tried to keep presentable. And I give you the real me, the wary me, the uncertain me, the one who has cried in the quiet and wrestled in the dark. You are the only one I can come to unmasked and unafraid, knowing I will never be turned away. You are not repelled by my weakness. You are drawn to it, because in my weakness, your power is revealed. In my emptiness, you pour out fullness. In my silence, you sing over me. I do not need to impress you. I just need to meet you. I do not need to have the answers. I just need to show up in your presence, knowing you are already here, already loving, already speaking, already restoring what I did not even know was broken. Let your spirit go deeper, Lord, deeper than Sunday faith, deeper than scripted prayers, deeper than surface-level worship. Go into the places I have closed off, where I have said, not here, not that. Go into the wounds I have nursed in silence. Go into the memories I have locked away. You already know them, but now I give you access. Now I welcome you in, not to shame, but to heal, not to judge, but to redeem. I want to be whole, not just functional, not just capable of surviving, but free enough to thrive, free enough to love with open hands, free enough to celebrate others without envy, free enough to walk in peace that does not depend on predictable outcomes, free enough to be content in obscurity because I know who sees me, because I know who holds my name with delight and whispers my purpose in the silence. Build me into a place of your glory, Lord. Let my life be a dwelling place, a resting place for you. Let my thoughts become an altar. Let my daily routines become sacred rhythms of connection. Let my home be filled with your presence, not just during worship, But while I do the ordinary, cooking, working, parenting, serving, let every mundane moment become a meeting place. When I speak, let it sound like heaven. When I act, let it echo your kindness. When I enter a room, let the atmosphere shift, not because of who I am, but because of who is alive in me. Let miracles follow not because I chase them, but because I carry the miracle worker. Let revival start not with a microphone, but with my quiet obedience. Let transformation begin in my secret yes. God, even now, I sense you inviting me into a kind of closeness that terrifies my flesh, but awakens my spirit. A closeness where there is no performance, no hiding, no pretending, only presence, only the rawness of my longing and the gentleness of your love meeting me in the middle, a place where I am stripped of pretense and clothed in grace, a place where my soul finds what it was always craving, you. I do not want to live another day numb to this nearness. I do not want to go through the motions of spiritual living while missing the miracle of intimacy with you. So awaken me. Father, wake me from the slumber of routine religion. Wake me from the distraction of shallow pursuits. Wake me from the lie that says I need to be busy to be blessed. What I need is you. Only you. Every other desire is a shadow of that truth. Teach me to linger where others rush. Teach me to wait where others walk away. Teach me to build altars where others chase platforms. If you are not in the fire, I do not want it. If you are not in the wind, I want to chase it. If you are not in the earthquake, I will wait for the whisper, because your whisper is enough to change everything. One word from you is worth more than 1,000 affirmations from man. Let me be the one who stays, the one who waits when it is not popular, the one who believes when it is not logical, the one who worships when there is no evidence. Let my worship be a weapon and my faith a banner. Let my life declare that even in the silence, you are speaking. Even in the delay, you are moving. Even in the darkness, you are light. I want to carry your presence not just when I pray, but when I speak, when I listen, when I lead, when I serve, when I rest. Let everything I do be saturated in the oil of your spirit. Let people feel you before they even understand what they are feeling. Let peace walk in with me. Let grace surround every word. Let healing ride on my shadow, not because of me, but because I walk with the healer. God, keep me desperate for you. Desperate not in panic, but in holy dependence. Let me wake with hunger and sleep with surrender. Let me love your word more than I love comfort. Let me follow your voice more than I follow my plans. Let obedience be my joy, not my duty. Let holiness be my desire, not my image. Let your heart become the rhythm of my days. Father, I feel the stretching within me, not of pain, but of capacity. You are expanding my heart to hold more of you, enlarging my spirit to believe for more, to trust in ways I have never trusted, to love without walls and worship without hesitation. And in this stretching, you are forming something sacred. You are creating within me a place where your spirit can dwell freely, where fear no longer builds fences around my faith. Every time I feel inadequate, you whisper, "My grace is sufficient," and those words become my anchor, not because they make the storm disappear, but because they make me strong enough to stand through it. I am not meant to escape the fire. I am meant to walk through it with you beside me. I am not called to avoid the battle. I am equipped to win it by your power. So teach me how to fight not with fists or force, but with faith. Teach me how to war in the Spirit, how to raise a hallelujah in the face of the impossible. Let my worship shake foundations. Let my praise confuse the enemy. Let my prayers rise like incense. Breaking strongholds. Shifting atmospheres. Releasing heaven into earth. I want to be a warrior not just in moments of crisis, but in the everyday faithfulness of choosing you again and again. You have given me armor. You have given me your name. You have given me access to the throne of grace, so I come boldly, not arrogantly, but confidently because I know who my Father is. I know I am not praying to an absent God, but to a present King. I know you are not distant. You are near, nearer than breath, closer than thought, more real than what my eyes can see. I feel you now, not just around me, but within me. And I thank you, Father, not just for what you have done, but for who you are. You are constant when the world is spinning. You are faithful when others fail. You are merciful when I least deserve it. You are holy, and yet you invite me into your holiness. You are majestic, and yet you dwell with the lowly. You are sovereign, and yet you listen to the prayers of one trembling heart in the quiet of the morning. There is no one like you, God, no one who sees the beginning from the end, and yet walks patiently with me through every in-between. You are the shepherd who leaves the 99 for the one, and I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that I have been that one again and again. You have pursued me with relentless mercy, found me in places I never thought you would reach, and called me beloved even when I could barely lift my eyes to meet yours. And still, you are not finished with me. You never stop drawing me. Each step forward in faith reveals there is more, a deeper river, a stronger current of grace, a greater weight of glory. And though it humbles me, it also lifts me. I can earn what you have given me, but I can receive it. I can understand all your ways, but I can trust your heart. I do not always feel qualified, but I know I have been called. So I keep coming, Lord. I keep showing up in this place of holy conversation. I bring you not just my needs, but my longing, not just my words, but my wonder. I bring the deep places as the ones even I do not fully understand, and I ask you to do what only you can, to make sense of the silence, to breathe life into the dust, to turn pain into power and weakness into a witness of your strength. You do not waste anything. I believe that every detour, every delay, every heartbreak has been woven into a tapestry of redemption. You are not surprised by what broke me. You are not hindered by what slowed me down. If anything, you have already written restoration into my story. You have already planned beauty from the ashes. And when the time is right, when my character has caught up to the calling, when my roots can bear the fruit, you will bring it forth. I sense that time is drawing closer, not because things feel easier, but because I have grown more surrendered. I have stopped demanding timelines. I have stopped striving to earn what only grace can give. I have begun to rest, not in circumstances, but in your sovereignty. And this rest, it has become my breakthrough. This quiet confidence, it is the miracle beneath the surface. Let me carry that miracle everywhere I go. Let me speak peace into chaos, hope into despair, love into brokenness. Let my presence carry the fragrance of the one I have been with. Let every conversation be drenched in kindness, every act of service rooted in joy. Let my life not preach louder than my love. Let my actions sing louder than any sermon I could speak. And Lord, as I walk through this process, do not let me mistake comfort for closeness. Teach me that intimacy with you is not always wrapped in ease, it is often born in fire. That sometimes your greatest work is done not in the absence of storms, but right in the eye of them. So if the winds howl and the waves rise, let my faith not flee but dig deeper. Let my worship become louder than the roar of uncertainty. Let my eyes remain locked on you, even when all around me shifts. Because you, God, my true north, you are the unchanging in a world of change. You are the steady voice in a whirlwind of opinions. You are the peace that does not make sense and the joy that can be shaken. So let me dwell in that truth. Let me build my life upon it not as theory, but as the core of who I am. Let every breath I take be one of trust. Let every step I walk be one of surrender. I know now that breakthrough is not always loud. It does not always come with trumpet blasts or parted seas. Sometimes it comes in the stillness. Sometimes it looks like choosing hope when despair would be easier. Sometimes it is in the small yes that nobody sees, the prayer prayed in secret, the forgiveness given without apology, the faith held quietly in the shadows. Let me not overlook these holy victories. Let me recognize the miracle in the mundane. You see it all, Lord. The tears no one else notices, the sacrifices made in silence, the battles fought behind closed doors. You see it, and you smile. You celebrate faithfulness, not flashiness. You honor the hidden yes, the steady heart, the one who remains even when it would be easier to run. Let that be me. Let me be the one who stays, who believes, who endures not for applause, but because I have seen your face, and I can never be the same. So when weariness comes, and I know it will be my rest, when doubts creep in, be my certainty. When I feel small in the face of what you have called me to, remind me that it is not about my capacity, but yours, that I am simply the vessel and you are the source, that as long as I am willing, you are able. You will pour through me exactly what is needed for the moment, for the mission, for the one in front of me. Father, I lean into the stillness of this early hour and feel the hush of heaven settle over every restless corner of my heart. You are here, closer than the breath that lifts my chest, and I sense your gaze steady, unwavering, calling me deeper into the mystery of your love. I have tasted the edges of grace, but I know there is a vast ocean yet to drink. Currents of compassion and power that will carry me far beyond the shores, what I once called possible. So I step in, toes first, then ankles, then knees. until the waters of your presence rise and sweep away every lesser allegiance hidden within me. You remind me that the ground where I stand is holy because you occupy it. That ordinary rooms become sanctuaries when your whisper fills the air. And in that whisper I hear you naming me again, beloved, chosen, strengthened for such a time as this. Every fear that once shouted for my attention now bows in silence, unable to compete with the steady cadence of your truth, echoing through my spirit. I am not alone. I am not forgotten. I am being prepared for a breakthrough that will reveal your glory, not my own. Thank you for forging resilience in the fires I once begged you to extinguish. In the heat, I discovered a hidden strength. The power to praise when nothing made sense. The courage to stay when leaving felt easier. The clarity to see that pruning is proof of purposeful love. Every trimmed branch has made room for new fruit. Every surrendered dream has become a seed in your capable hands, planted in soil I cannot yet see, awaiting its appointed season to rise. I lift the weight of unanswered questions to you and feel them grow lighter in the light of your certainty. Your timing is not delayed, it is deliberate. Your silence is not absence, it is strategy. And while I wait, you work, waving threads of redemption through the tapestry of my days. The pattern is hidden from my vantage point, but I trust the artistry of your design. You do not make mistakes. You sculpt miracles in slow motion, inviting me to witness wonder unfolding stroke by stroke. Teach me to measure progress by obedience, not outcomes, by intimacy, not influence. Let me find success in the softness of my heart toward you, the quickness of my yes, the quiet joy of unseen faithfulness. May every private victory choosing kindness when anger is easier, forgiving before an apology arrives, blessing those who misunderstand rise as incense before you, fragrant offerings that delight your heart. Holy Spirit, saturate these dry bones with living water. Where cynicism has cracked the wells of hope, pour in fresh oil until joy overflows again. Where fatigue has weighed down these shoulders, breathe renewing wind that lifts me like wings on the morning breeze. Let the pulse of heaven beat within my chest, aligning every thought with truth, every emotion with peace, every desire with holiness. Make me a carrier of presence, so that wherever my feet tread, the atmosphere shifts. Chains loosen, and eyes awaken to the nearness of God. I choose contentment in hidden seasons, knowing seeds germinate in darkness before pushing through to daylight. I bless the soil of solitude where roots stretch wide and deep, anchoring destiny beyond the reach of storms. I welcome the stretch of unanswered prayers, trusting they are invitations to know your heart more intimately than convenience ever could. I embrace holy dissatisfaction, that sacred ache that keeps me pursuing more of you, never settling for yesterday's revelation when fresh manna awaits at dawn. Father, shape my tongue to speak life, only words that build bridges, words that heal breaches, words that prophesy possibility into barren places. Let the law of kindness govern my lips, patience season my counsel, and humility guard my victories when I stand before doors too heavy for human strength. May, Lord, open if it is you be my declaration, and if you close them, may gratitude rise for protection I did not perceive. Guard my imagination, that birthplace of faith and fear alike. Illuminate it with visions of what could be when yielded to your power. Families restored through whispered prayers. Cities awakened by humble intercession. Nations healed by a church that chooses mercy over pride. Ignite dreams big enough to make me tremble, yet small enough to fit inside your will. And grant me perseverance to steward them until substance replaces shadow. In battles unseen, train my hands for war and my fingers for spiritual combat. Let worship be the sword that severs every lie. And let thanksgiving be the shield that deflects fiery darts of doubt. Teach me to march around impossible walls with steady steps and louder praise. Confident they will crumble at the appointed shout, whether today or in a season yet to unfold. Even now I sense fresh wind swirling, signaling change. The corridors of my life echo with the rustle of angel wings, rearranging circumstances in alignment with heaven's blueprint. I feel the ground trembling beneath old limitations, foundations shifting to make way for new capacity. Where discouragement once lingered, expectancy now blooms. Where shame erected barriers, grace opens gates. Where confusion clouded vision, revelation blazes like sunrise over darkened hills. So I lift my gaze beyond present horizons and anchor hope in the character of the one who cannot fail. I remember testimonies written in scarred palms and empty graves. And I borrow courage from every story where light conquered darkness. What you have done before, you will do again uniquely, magnificently, in ways that leave no doubt it was always your hand. Let each heartbeat synchronize with heaven's rhythm, propelling me into days saturated with purpose. Let compassion lead my steps toward the overlooked, generosity open wells in famine lands, and faithfulness stand guard at every gate. May laughter echo through nights of intercession, for joy is the soundtrack of victory. May wisdom crown decisions, for your voice is clarity amid competing cries. May love be the banner flying high above every interaction, unmistakable evidence that I belong to the King whose banner over me is love. And as this prayer flows on, unbroken like a river finding its course, I lean farther into its current, trusting it will carry me through valleys and over heights, past familiar banks into oceans uncharted, where the depth of your presence swallows every fear, and the horizon is simply the starting line of wonders still to come. Father, so I breathe in that endless horizon, letting the certainty of your nearness settle like morning dew upon my soul. I remember the subtle signs you have etched across my journey, those gentle yet unmissable markers that herald breakthrough's approach, when pressure increases and presses the oil from hidden places, when isolation draws me away from noise and into whispered revelation, and when holy dissatisfaction awakens me from complacency and sets my spirit ablaze for more. I feel all three even now, converging like braided rivers, carving a deeper channel through the bedrock of my heart, so your glory can rush unhindered and irrigate every barren dream. In the pressure, you prove the treasure. Every squeeze reveals fresh reservoirs of grace I never knew were stored within. In the solitude, you unveil the magnitude of your friendship tables, fortitude, where my questions become dialogue and my sighs become songs. And in the restless you kindle fresh vision, showing me ladders of promise stretching heaven high, rungs fashioned from past prayers, each one an invitation to climb higher and to trust. So I lean into the press without panic. Knowing diamonds form beneath the weight, I embrace the hidden room without hurry, letting roots tangle deep in unseen earth. I welcome the stirring hunger without shame, for appetite is proof that a banquet is being laid, and while these three signs pulse within, your voice threads through them all with the same steady refrain. I am preparing you. Child, do not fear the unfamiliar glow on the horizon. It is sunrise, not wildfire. Let that dawn light spill over every memory still cloaked in shadow, where regret once replayed like a restless film. Splice in scenes of redemption, unfolding relationships mended by radical mercy, opportunities resurrected from supposed ruin, purpose rising from ashes thought too cold to reignite. Let hope edit my history, frame by frame, until every chapter, yes, even the torn pages, gleams with the footnotes of your kindness. And as narrative shifts, teach my tongue a vocabulary of victory. Replace the dialect of limitation with verbs of expectancy. I will rise, I will heal, I will run and not grow weary, because you supply breath to lungs and courage to marrow. May the cadence of my confession harmonize with heaven's symphony, the roar of angels who have seen the blueprint, and shout assurance across eternity's halls. Even now I sense their chorus swirling above everyday errands and ordinary hours, reminding me that the mundane is merely the veil over miraculous moments in the making. A conversation at the market becomes an appointment for encouragement. A routine commute turns into a mobile sanctuary. A quiet evening meal transforms into bread broken in the presence of the one who multiplies. Nothing is wasted when your fingerprints mark the day. So sharpen my sight, Lord. Let me notice the shimmer of the supernatural hiding in plain view, the child's laugh that echoes Eden, the stray ray of light streaking through storm clouds like a silent promise, the gentle nudge to pray a name I have not thought of in years, and later discover that very minute was their midnight hour of need. Train me to live alert, ears tuned to footfalls of angels, eyes watchful for doors you crack open with the faintest breeze. Where fatigue attempts to blur wonder, infuse new strength. May living water surge through spiritual sinews, flushing out residue of disappointment and soaking brittle hope until it bends. Unbreakable and alive, let laughter bubble up where sighs once settled heavy. Not shallow mirth, but deep wells of joy that spring from the certainty that every plot twist bows to your authorship. And if opposition rises, voices doubting, circumstances tightening like iron gates, remind me that gates are stationary, but faith walks. I will not measure the wall. I will measure the one who teaches my hands to scale it. I will not catalog giants. I will count promises. I will not rehearse impossibility. I will recite the moments you split seas with a breath and collapsed fortresses at the sound of praise. Keep teaching me that praise is not a reaction to visible victory, but a catalyst that births it. Let melodies form in unseen corridors of my spirit long before manifestation arrives. Let them swirl upward, weave through clouds, and boomerang back carrying breakthrough on their wings. May my life become a living psalm, verses penned in grocery easels, choruses rising in traffic jams, bridges built in hospital corridors, music that merges heaven and earth in the most ordinary places. And through it all, anchor me in the gentle cadence of your companionship. When crowds press in with needs, may I sense your hand steadying mine. when loneliness tries to echo through late-night corridors. May I feel the weight of your presence filling every empty chair. When acceleration tempts me to outrun grace, may your whisper call me back to unforced rhythms, reminding me that destiny never demands I sacrifice intimacy on the altar of haste. I will stay beside you, step for step, breath for breath, sign by sign until the day the pressure births platforms I never engineered. The wilderness blooms with gardens planted in secret tears, and the restless hunger becomes a feast shared with multitudes who taste and see that the Lord is undeniably good. And even now, Lord, I feel the weight of eternity pressing gently into this moment, as if the veil between heaven and earth thins just enough for me to sense the echo of your footsteps, the rustle of your robe brushing against the fabric of my day. You are not far. You have never been far. You are the God who draws close to the contrite, who inhabits the praise of the desperate, who makes a sanctuary out of broken hallelujahs and whispered help me prayers. So I make room for you again, not just in the sacred moments, but in the messy ones too, in the unanswered emails, the forgotten laundry, the hallway where tears fall quietly before I got myself for the world again. These are the places where you meet me most profoundly, not because they are polished, but because they are real. You are not waiting for a version of me that has it all together. You are reaching for the one who dares to be honest, who lays the truth bare and invites you into it without pretension. I surrender every compartment, even those corners I have labeled too insignificant or too shameful. You want them all. The unfinished thoughts, the prayers I left half-spoken, the habits I have tried to break in my own strength, the anger I have tried to explain away, the weariness I have masked with performance. You see beneath it all, and still you call me worthy not because of what I bring, but because of who you are. So make this heart your home again, Lord. Rearrange what you must, tear down what does not reflect you, build up what has been torn by this world. Let your spirit sweep through like wind through a house flung open and after winter fresh, free, and full of promise. Let light pour in through every window until darkness has no corner left to hide. And as you do, give me ears to hear again, not just the dramatic call, but the subtle invitation, the tug to pray for a stranger, the nudge to forgive before it is asked, the gentle whisper reminding me to return to your feet when I have wandered into distraction. Let sensitivity to your spirit become my greatest pursuit. I do not want to miss you, not in the quiet, not in the chaos, not in the sacred, not in the ordinary. Make me more aware, God, not just of what you are doing around me, but of what you are cultivating within me. Open my inner eyes to recognize the small stirrings, the inner shifts, the soft realignments of heart that happen quietly beneath the surface of routine. Help me to stop long enough to notice when my desires begin to mirror yours. Help me to pause and celebrate when compassion rises instead of resentment, when peace steadies me where anxiety used to reign, when my first instinct becomes prayer instead of panic. These are the miracles I have come to treasure, most those invisible victories that no one claps for but you, the ones that mark true transformation, not just temporary change. Because what you are doing in me is more than behavior modification, it is a holy renovation. You are tearing down the false scaffolding of self-reliance and building something enduring. Something pure. Something that can hold the weight of the calling I carry. Lord, I do not want shallow roots. I do not want fast fruit that spoils in the sun. I want depth. I want endurance. I want to be like the tree planted by living water, whose leaves do not wither in heat, and whose fruit grows in every season. Dig deep into my soul, even when it hurts. Pull out what does not belong. Plant truth where lies once lived. Let righteousness grow where shame once ruled. Let confidence in you bloom in the very places insecurity once whispered defeat. Make me unshackable not because the winds one tea blow, but because I am held by your word, held by your promises, held by the nail-scarred hands that have never dropped a single one of your beloved. I trust those hands. Lord, I trust their strength, their tenderness, their wisdom. Even when I can see what they are shaping, I trust what they are doing is good. Father of every sunrise, continue to teach my heartbeat your cadence, so that even its quiet thrum between breaths is a private hymn of surrender. I yield the territory of my imagination again, asking your spirit to draw boundary lines in pleasant places, to fence out the images fear keeps trying to project on the screen of the future, and to plant vineyards of possibility where only wastelands of what-ifs once sprawled. Where my mind has rehearsed defeat, let new neural paths of triumph be paved by meditating on your unbroken track record. Let Scripture become the architect of those avenues, so that every thought that travels them arrives at hope. If anxiety attempts another ambush in the night watches, walk the corridors of my consciousness the way a shepherd paces a hillside, staff in hand, driving out prowling lies with the rod of truth. Let rest be militant, let it stand guard at the door of my soul, so sleeplessness loses its grip and peace patrols the hallways. Lantern raised. Today I lay before you the stewardship of hours. Every appointment on a calendar, every unseen interruption, every seemingly small conversation that may carry eternal weight. Breathe intentionality into the mundane. Transform routine into liturgy. As I brew coffee, let thanksgiving percolate. As I answer emails, let wisdom dictate reply. As I travel familiar roads, let unfamiliar compassion nudge me toward the hurting faces I have overlooked in my hurry. May the ministry of presence eclipse the pursuit of productivity, because one look of genuine kindness can be the hinge on which another life swings toward destiny. And when resistance surfaces, as it will when light advances, steady my resolve. If doors slam with the force of rejection, remind me they are sometimes shields deflecting arrows I never saw released. If resources appear scarce, tutor my eyes to locate the widow's oil still hiding in plain sight on the shelf. If relationships stretch thin, teach my tongue the eloquence of silence until grace has space to speak first. Let me carry an unoffendable heart, remembering that wounded people often hand out shards of their own pain. Help me collect those shards gently and return them as mosaics of mercy. I sense you enlarging territory beneath my feet, yet cautioning me to let patience finish its work, to let endurance nail each plank of character in place before the platform extends. So I refuse shortcuts that circumvent transformation, prefer routes that wrestle through rock over vines, that sprawl shallow across soil. Hammer conviction deep. Seal integrity like rebar inside every beam so that, when elevation comes, the hidden framework sings of faithfulness. Breathe again. Ruach. Across generational lines. Rewrite the story where cycles of lack or addiction once dictated family scripts. Let my obedience today become the watershed that diverts entire bloodlines into rivers of blessing. May children not yet born inherit landscapes irrigated by prayers whispered now in this quiet room. Carve altars into future decades with every yes I offer. Let descendants find them and ignite fresh fire on stones, still warm with my surrender. And while you are stretching vision outward, tether my affections inward, closer to your heart. I do not want usefulness to eclipse intimacy. Keep reminding me that the miracle of Lazarus is not just that he walked out, but that he heard your voice call his name. So call mine morning after morning. Let me practice resurrection by springing from bed at the sound, eager to unwrap new grave clothes of yesterday's limitations. Today includes hidden battles, temptations nobody else will see, disappointments I have to process in real time, be the quiet counselor at my right hand. Tilt my chin toward perspective when my gaze falls to dust. Worship well up uncoaxed, like artisans spring from underground aquifers, drenching arid emotion in spontaneous doxology. Teach me the art of immediate gratitude, the reflex that says this too will reveal God before circumstances announce their verdict. And as evening shadows lengthen, teach me to number mercies like constellations, to trace your faithfulness across the sky of recollection until night itself becomes a blanket of testimony. Every star a reminder that darkness cannot silence light. And when morning comes again, let every fresh beam of sunlight stretch across my floor like golden scripture, underlining new mercies written in the margin of another day. May my first inhale be a holy amen to all you have spoken through the night, assurances carried in dreams, gentle corrections whispered in the hush between heartbeats, blueprints of courage sketched upon my sleeping mind. I rise to partner with those promises. Guide each step through hallways of possibility, where divine appointments wait disguised as interruptions. If a hurried stranger spills papers in the lobby, train my instinct to kneel, gathering pages as though they were fragments of destiny. If a colleague's voice trembles beneath practiced smiles, help me become still enough to hear the silent plea and bold enough to pause, to pray, to plant hope where workplace decorum might prefer silence. Let me spend influence like currency stamped with heaven's face, investing it in souls, not statistics. When tasks stack high like mountain ranges, remind me that faith the size of mustard seeds still speaks to towering peaks. Teach my schedule to bow to Sabbath rhythms, pockets of rest defying the tyranny of urgent but unimportant things. Let sacred pauses punctuate busy sentences. Let laughter interrupt stress the way a songbird cracks the solemn hush of dawn. Anoint my time management with the wisdom of ravens and lilies, productive yet untroubled, effective without anxiety, purposeful yet peacefully nested in your providence. And as I handle resources, money, talent, favor, align my motives with kingdom mathematics, where generosity multiplies and scarcity dissolves beneath open hands. May I write checks of compassion before calculating what remains, trusting the banker who owns cattle on 1,000 hills. Let creativity flow like oil from a never-empty jar, ideas multiplying precisely because I pour them freely into the jars of others' dreams. Guard my community, Lord. Knit friendships with threads of authenticity far stronger than convenience. Where offense threatens, sew seams of forgiveness faster than bitterness can unravel trust. Place prophetic encouragers at every corner of my circle, voices that remind me who I am when insecurity tries to rewrite the narrative. Let our shared tables echo Acts-era fellowship. Bread broken into revelation. Cups lifted in thankful recognition that Christ still walks between chairs and blesses conversations. For the wider world groaning under headlines of fracture, make intercession my default posture. Let compassion outrun commentary. Teach me to bend headlines into prayer lines, transforming despairing data into decrees of deliverance. Where wars rumble and economies sway, raise my gaze above turbulence to the throne unmoved. Let declarations forged in my quiet room travel like arrows over oceans, piercing darkness in nations I may never touch, yet passionately carry in prayer-worn pockets of my heart. Holy Spirit, tutor my senses in supernatural perception until miracles feel normal. Knees healed in grocery aisles, addictions shattered mid-sentence. Prophetic words landing like feathers that somehow crack concrete walls around skeptical souls. Keep wonder childlike, never jaded eyes widening with each testimony. Knees hitting floorboards in awe that heaven keeps choosing earth as its stage and fragile people as its actors. And should valleys deepen or shadows lengthen without explanation, hold my worship steady. Teach me the liturgy of low places, where altars are built from nothing but surrendered outcomes. In those hollows, carve caverns of dependency so vast that only glory can fill them. When tears become lenses, may they refract light into new spectrums of revelation. When prayers leave lips raw, may they return as rain on drought-cracked ground softening. Greening, reviving what grief tried to scorch. Even in bodily fatigue, infuse marrow with resurrection vigor. Let muscles remember the rhythm of grace, moving not by adrenaline, but by abiding. When eyelids droop under midday weight, whisper, my strength is perfected here, and let that whispered truth become the caffeine of spirit, sustaining flesh. Teach me Sabbath moments inside minutes, one deep breath, where I taste eternity, one whispered Jesus recalibrating everything. I thank you in advance for outcomes unseen, for phone calls bringing prodigals home, for lab results reading cleared, for manuscripts finding publishers, for ministries birthed in garages, for policies shifting toward justice because saints refused cynicism. I celebrate the dominoes already lined up in realms invisible, waiting for the flick of your finger in Kairos time. Until then, keep me faithfully ordinary, sweeping floors with the same devotion that splits seas, answering messages with the kindness that heals blind eyes, folding laundry while angels sing over neighborhoods. Let character be the miracle that precedes every sign, humility the fragrance that trails every gift, love the megaphone amplifying every truth. And so this dialogue rolls on a river widening, deepening, never reaching a shore, because there is always more of you to discover, more worlds within your word to explore, more chambers in your heart to inhabit, more echoes of your name to sing into still forming galaxies of faith, even the silence. Lord, yes, even that has become a sacred sound when I remember you are in it. The quiet between answers is no longer a void, but a vineyard where you are tending faith like grapes on hidden vines. Let me not rush past that stillness. Let me press my ear to it like the side of your heart, listening not for what you will do next, but for who you are right now. The absence of noise is not the absence of you. It is the invitation to abide, to drink deep of trust, to find that you are not just a God of words, but a God of presence, and sometimes that presence speaks best in the hush. So I will sit in the waiting with open hands, not clenched fists demanding the when and how, but surrendered palms willing to carry only what you place into them. Fill them with things that last, joy that does not hinge on outcomes, peace that settles before the storm clears, love that does not retreat when it is stretched. Give me the kind of faith that does not flinch in the hallway before the door opens, the kind that dances, even if it never does, because your goodness is the floor beneath my feet. Lord, give me new language for the in-between. Teach me to prophesy hope while still walking through shadows. Teach me to declare healing while the wound is still visible. Teach me to speak breakthrough into places that still feel barren. You are not afraid of contradiction, because you are the God who writes resurrection into tomes. So help me walk by the truth of your character, not the facts of my circumstances. Help me read the lines of reality through the lens of eternity. Let my declarations disturb doubt like a stone dropped into a still pond, rippling outward into the atmosphere, announcing that faith has entered the room. Let me not grow weary in the middle, the part of the story no one celebrates, where progress feels slow and results feel vague. Strengthen my hands when repetition threatens to dull my wonder. Remind me that unseen obedience is never wasted, that every unseen prayer, every unnoticed act of love, every anonymous intercession is being woven to the kind of beauty heaven applauds. Let me crave that applause alone, the applause of nail-scarred hands, the standing ovation of angels when one child chooses belief over fear. And so I remain, here in this holy conversation, where every breath carries weight and every word becomes worship. I do not need the language to be perfect, only honest. You read between my lines, see the trembling beneath my faith, and call it beautiful. I come not with eloquence, but with desire, a longing that has grown louder than fear, deeper than weariness, truer than doubt. I want you, not the idea of you, not the benefits of you. You unfiltered, uncontainable, unending. Let that hunger shape my days. Let it govern how I spend my time, how I navigate interruptions, how I sit across from a friend or stranger. Let this H for you spill into how I love others, how I forgive, how I serve, how I show up when it is inconvenient. If my life is an offering, let hunger be the fire that keeps it burning. Dante, let the flames grow dim with comfort. Stoke the embers of my soul until intimacy with you becomes more vital than recognition, more compelling than answers, more satisfying than anything I could gain without you. Let my inner world be louder than the noise outside me, louder than opinion, louder than trends, louder than insecurity. Let the secret place be where I win my battles, the ground where I learn how to move in stillness and war in worship. When the crowd cheers or turns away, may I remain rooted in the soil of your voice. When the spotlight tempts or the shadows isolate, may I walk with unwavering eyes on the one who never changes, who never leaves, who never misleads. I do not ask for an easy road. God, I ask for a real one where miracles are wrapped in mundane moments, where obedience becomes the melody that turns the ordinary into glory. Teach me to celebrate small breakthroughs as deeply as the grand ones, a moment of peace after anxiety, a word of kindness when I could have chosen sarcasm, a whisper of courage before stepping into the unknown. These are the holy victories, the mile markers of transformation. And God, when the tide of emotion rises, when feelings crash in like a flood, feelings of not being enough, of being too late, of being too broken, anchor me in truth. Let me not confuse the storm within for the absence of your presence. You were always in the boat. Even when the disciples panicked, you are still in mine, still speaking peace, still waiting for me to recognize that peace is not the absence of waves, but the presence of the Prince of Peace. Lead me with your eyes, not just your hand. I want to see what you see, to notice the person no one else does, to weep over what breaks your heart, to rejoice in the victories that seem small to others, but are enormous in heaven. Make me perceptive to the spiritual details, the tears someone hides behind a forced laugh, the exhaustion in a parent's eyes, the hope buried deep in a dream someone has not shared out loud. Let me be the one who sees and responds. Make me fluent in the language of compassion. Let mercy season my sentences. Let gentleness be my posture. Let love not just be my message, but my method. When I speak, let it be an extension of your kindness. When I act, let it echo your grace. When I move, let it leave behind traces of healing and dignity and beauty that point people back to you. And, Father, in the places of my life that still feel undone, in the habits I have yet to break, the fears I have not fully silenced, the hopes I still hold cautiously, remind me that you are not in a hurry. You do not love a future version of me more than who I am right now. You are the God of process, the one who walks beside, not just ahead, the one who loves me enough to stay through the middle chapters, the mess, the tension, the becoming. You are not repelled by my imperfections. You are drawn to my honesty, so I will keep bringing you everything, my progress and my pitfalls, my questions and my conviction, my brokenness and my boldness. I will keep coming back to the altar of awareness, where I lay down my agenda and pick up your heart, where I trade anxiety for awe, self-preservation for surrender, striving for sacred stillness. Keep teaching me how to wait, not passively, but actively, with expectation, with praise, with my feet ready to move when you say go and my heart willing to stay when you say wait. Let the waiting be worship. Let it refine me, not torment me. Let it build strength in places I once saw as weakness. Let it deepen the roots of trust until they reach the underground rivers of eternal truth. Because I have seen now that breakthrough does not always burst in with trumpets. Sometimes it tiptoes in quietly, disguised as a deeper breath, a softened heart, a new perspective. Sometimes it is not the door flinging open, but the courage to stop pounding on it. Sometimes it is not the change in circumstances, but the shift inside my soul, a peace that passes understanding, a faith that refuses to bow to evidence. So if this is the season of preparation, of pressing, of pruning, I embrace it with open hands. I trust that the vine only cuts what cannot bear the coming fruit, that the gardener sees beyond this moment and loves me enough to shape me with eternity in mind. And if the fruit takes longer than expected to appear, I will still bless the soil. I will still water the roots. I will still lift my face toward the sun, because you are faithful in every season, not just the ones that bloom. Let me worship through the waiting. Let me praise through the pain. Let me believe through the breaking. Let me rise each day with breath in my lungs and a fire in my bones, declaring that you are still good, still near, still working all things, yes, all things for my good and your glory. Let this declaration become the rhythm of my life, the pulse of my prayer, the sound that heaven recognizes as a life yielded, a heart open, a spirit aligned. And as I remain in this posture of communion with you, keep weaving the story that only you can write, each line penned with love, each chapter shaped with wisdom, each plot twist turned into testimony. Let me read every moment, every joy, every disappointment through the lens of redemption, and let that lens bring into focus the one truth that steadies me in every storm. You are here, and you are not done. God, I feel you drawing me again, not with force, but with the tender gravity of grace, pulling me inward, downward, deeper, deeper into a love I will never outgrow, deeper into truths that uproot every lie I once planted to survive. You pull me not to crush me, but to center me, not to expose me to shame, but to reintroduce me to wholeness. You pull me so close that I can finally exhale, finally release what I was never meant to carry, finally collapse into arms that never let go. You are my resting place, not just in the evening hours, but in the middle of the day, in the middle of the struggle, in the middle of the unanswered. Let rest become my rebellion against the tyranny of the urgent. Let it be the holy stillness that roars louder than anxiety, louder than performance, louder than every voice that demands more when you simply ask me to be. Let me never confuse momentum with meaning. Let me never chase movement at the expense of movement with you. If you say, stay, I will stay. If you say, speak, I will speak. If you say, be silent, I will honor the quiet like a sanctuary. Because it is not about doing something great for you. It is about doing everything with you. There is no greater calling. I give you the rhythm of my breath. May it match the rhythm of heaven. I give you the steps of my journey. May they leave footprints that point not to my name, but to yours. I give you the words of my mouth. May they carry healing like rain, not thorns like splinters. Let my presence echo yours. Let my joy mirror yours. Let my brokenness, surrendered, become a wellspring of life to those who are thirsty and weary and wondering if you are still near. And when I falter, because I will let grace not be a theology, but the ground I fall onto, a ground that lifts me back up, a ground that does not crack beneath my weight, no matter how heavy the burden. You are not surprised by the cracks in my faith. You are not deterred by the questions. You are the God who walks roads of doubt with bruised disciples and breaks bread until revelation dawns. So walk with me, Jesus, not just on mountaintops, but down long roads, through dim valleys, past burning bushes and into quiet deserts. Walk with me through routines and heartaches, the awkward waiting rooms of life. Keep showing up. Keep teaching me how to recognize you when I least expect, when I almost missed it, when I am tempted to quit. Keep opening my eyes at the breaking of bread. And as we walk, Lord, let every step become sacred, even the ones that feel slow, even the ones that seem to circle back to places I thought I had already passed. If you are walking with me, then no ground is wasted. No delay is void of purpose. What feels like wandering might just be the winding way of wisdom, the long road where roots grow stronger than I know, where character is shaped beneath the surface of progress. Remind me that not all movement is forward in the way the world measures it. Sometimes moving deeper is better than moving faster. Sometimes stillness carries more power than the illusion of momentum. Sometimes pausing to weep, to reflect, to breathe deeply is what makes room for heaven to interrupt earth. So I will not be ashamed of slow seasons, of quiet days, of moments when all I can offer is my presence and a whispered, "I am still here, God." And you are still here too. You have never withdrawn from my weakness. You have never been startled by my silence. You never interpret my slowness as rebellion when it is really just fear, or exhaustion, or the aching need to know that you are not just the God who sends, but the God who stays. And you stay, always, when others leave, when hope thins, when I am no longer productive or impressive. You stay. You remain. You hold me when I am uncertain of how to hold on to you. So let me rest in your hold. Let me trust in your timeline. Let me abide. Truly abide, not merely visit your presence, but live in it. Let my thoughts be shaped by this communion. Let my decisions flow from this place of deep companionship. I do not want to spend time with you like I schedule an appointment. I want to carry you, walk with you, breathe you in and out like oxygen. Constant, necessary, life-giving. Father, I invite you into the shadows too, into the places I do not often talk about, into the disappointments I have tried to bury beneath business, into the hopes I have let go of, not because you told me to, because the ache of waiting felt unbearable, into the doubts that still whisper, even while I sing songs of surrender, into the rooms in my soul that still feel locked, that still carry signs that say, "Not yet healed." You already see them. But now I give you permission to enter them, to turn on the lights, to sit with me in the middle of the mess, and not rush to fix it, but simply be present. I have learned that your presence is not a means to an end, it is the end. It is the goal. It is the answer. And sometimes it is all I need, even if everything else remains unanswered. So I welcome you not just as my Redeemer, my provider, my shepherd, but as my companion. The one who does not need me to be better to stay. The one who brings beauty even when the ashes still smolder. The one who waits patiently as I unlearn the rhythm of fear and relearn the rhythm of grace. Make grace my rhythm, Lord, not just the theology I recite, but the melody I live by, the tune my footsteps dance to, the hum beneath my every interaction. Let it shape my tone, my posture, my expectations. Let it seep into the way I forgive, the way I lead, the way I listen. Let grace saturate me so completely that it spills over into every space I occupy. Let it cover my impatience when growth feels slow. Let it soften my pride when I think I have outgrown the need for correction. Let it hold me steady when the voices of insecurity rise again. Let grace not just be something I receive in moments of failure, but something I extend constantly to myself, to others, to the world that does not yet know how loved it is. And Lord, in the quiet of this ongoing communion, I ask for wisdom, not the kind that puffs up with answers, but the kind that bends low to wash feet, the kind that walks through uncertainty with peace, that makes room for mystery, that welcomes discomfort if it leads to deeper truth, wisdom that discerns what to hold and what to release, what to fight for and what to surrender, what to say and when silence will speak louder. Wisdom to see what you are doing beneath what seems apparent. Because I know you are always doing more than I see. I know that what looks like delay might be divine alignment. That what feels like loss might be making room for legacy. That what seems like failure might be forming foundations I will one day stand on. You are the master of the unseen, the artist painting promises into the layers of pain, the Father who is never in a rush, but never absent. So I will wait, but I will wait like one who expects the dawn. I will wait with hope as my anchor and praise as my posture. I will wait with a Bible open and a heart surrendered. I will wait with hands still open wide, willing to receive, willing to release, willing to remain even when I do not yet understand. I want to waste the waiting. I will let it transform me. I will let it deepen my faith. I will let it be the sacred space where my roots sink deeper into the soil of your love. Continue writing, Lord. Continue shaping. I am not asking for a shortcut. I am asking for strength. I am not asking for comfort. I am asking for clarity. I am not asking for less responsibility. I am asking for more of you. Because if you are with me, then even the hard things become holy. Even the barren seasons become beautiful. Even the tears become testimonies. So take every part of this journey and weave it into something that glorifies you. And when the breakthrough comes, let me not forget the intimacy that was born in the waiting. Let me never trade presence for progress. Let me never sacrifice connection for outcome. Let me always treasure the nearness, the whisper, the Spirit breathing in me, because that is the breakthrough, that is the miracle. And I want to live my life like it has already happened, because it has, because you are here, because you are not done, because you are enough. And because you are enough, Lord, I no longer need to carry the illusion that I must be. I do not have to prove my worth with performance. Do not have to chase validation like a thirsty wanderer in a desert of applause. I can stop running. I can exhale. Because being yours is enough more than enough. The weight of that truth quiets the noise in my mind. It silences the inner critic. It stills the striving. I am loved, not for what I do, not for what I bring, but because you made me, know me, chose me, and call me by name. Let this truth anchor me when life begins to swirl again, when expectations rise like waves and demand attention. Anchor me in identity, not activity. Remind me again and again that the most important thing about me is not my accomplishments, but my communion, not my reputation, but my surrender, not my pace, but my posture. Keep calling me back to your feet, where nothing is required but everything is transformed. Make me a worshiper in spirit and in truth, not just on Sundays, not just with music, but with the way I live. Let my obedience be worship. Let my patience be praise. Let my service be a song. Let my silence be sacred. Let my yes in private become a melody that moves heaven. I do not want to be known for what I build, but for who I behold. Let every brick I lay in this life be set with hands that have first lifted in adoration. Let every plan I make begin with the prayer, "Is this where you are going?" If not, I do not want it. No matter how shiny it looks, no matter how loudly others cheer for it, if you are not in it, I will walk away. I will walk into the unknown before I will walk into something without you, because I have learned what looks like a wilderness with you is better than a palace without you. Your presence turns dry ground into a wellspring. Your breath turns dust into destiny. I trust you, even when the path twists, even when the signs are scarce, even when the signs are scarce. Lord, your word is not. You have written it in the sky and in my heart. You have spoken through ancient pages and through trembling moments of personal revelation. You have used broken voices, unexpected messengers, and even silence to remind me I am not alone. I never have been. Every moment I felt forgotten was actually a place you waited for me to notice you already there. So now I pause not to find you, but to finally see you. Help me see you everywhere, God. In the flicker of morning light across my table, in the wary smile of a neighbor, in the echo of children laughing somewhere in the distance, in the ache that still teaches me to need you, in the laughter that surprises me with how healing it feels, in the way the wind stirs the trees and somehow whispers that you still breathe on all creation. Let my eyes stay open to wonder. Let my soul stay awake to you. Remove the fog of familiarity. Strip away the habit of rushing through holy places unaware. Let me be like Jacob, who stopped in the middle of nowhere and declared, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not." Let me never again miss you because I was too focused on my destination. Let me find you in the journey, in the here, in the now. And when the ache of waiting returns, as it so often does, remind me once more that delay does not mean denial, that the space between promise and fulfillment is where you stretch my faith and deepen my roots, that I am not lost, but led, that the pressure is not punishment, but preparation, that what feels like emptiness is often the exact space you intend to fill with something greater than I imagined. I will wait, not as one abandoned, but as one pursued. I will wait with oil in my lamp. I will wait like a bride ready for the arrival of the bridegroom. I will wait, singing. I will wait, trusting. I will wait, building altars in the wilderness, because even here, even now, you are worthy, because even in the wilderness, you are not silent. Even when my surroundings are barren, your voice still waters my soul. You speak in the rustle of leaves, in the rhythm of my own breathing, in the whisper of grace that meets me when I expect judgment. You remind me that the desert is not desolation, it is divine invitation. A place where distractions are stripped away and only what truly matters remains. You, and my heart learning how to trust you again. So teach me how to walk through dry places without losing my wonder. Teach me how to dance on cracked earth. Let my praise not depend on the presence of fruit, but on the certainty of roots, because my roots are in you, and you do not change with the seasons. You are not moody. You are not fickle. You do not withdraw your love because I falter. Your consistency is my comfort. Your faithfulness is the fortress I return to when every other place feels unstable. Let your word be my water. Let it soak deep into the thirsty ground of my heart. Let it resurrect what I thought was too dead to live again. Let it teach me how to live not just on bread alone, but on every syllable that proceeds from your heart. Even when I do not understand, let me believe. Even when it costs me something, let me follow. Even when I can trace the path, let me trust the shepherd. Father, let me trust the shepherd, for even when the path wins through shadows, his rod and staff bring comfort. Even when the landscape of my life feels unfamiliar, the voice that calls me by name remains the same. You, Lord, are my compass when every signpost disappears. When I cannot rely on my understanding, I lean into your whisper. You do not shout over my fears, you quiet them. You do not force my trust, you win it, again and again, with the gentleness of your mercy and the nearness of your spirit. And so, I come again not with perfectly composed words, but with the H of honesty. I bring my uncertainties, my half-surrendered dreams, my reluctant confessions. I place them before you, not to be shamed, but to be seen. Because you are the God who sees El Roy, who found Hagar in the wilderness, not with punishment, but with promise. And if you saw her, then you see me. Right here, right now, even when no one else understands the depth of the storm within. You do. You see the buried pain I have learned to smile over. You see the silent prayers I whisper at night. You see the moments I nearly gave up but stayed, because something inside me still dared to hope. You see the tears I do not always let fall, and the strength I did not think I had until you showed me it was never mine to begin with. It was you. It was always you carrying me, breathing strength into bones that felt brittle with weariness. You are the strength behind every step I take, the reason I still rise after disappointment, the calm in my trembling hands, the reason I still dare to love, to believe, to stretch out my hands for tomorrow, even when today leaves me empty. So, breathe again on this heart of mine. Not because I have earned it, but because you are good. Always good. Infinitely patient. Eternally kind. And in your kindness, teach me not just how to receive, but how to give. Teach me to pour out, not from exhaustion, but from overflow. Fill me so deeply with your presence that it spills into my relationships, my work, my silence. Let those who encounter me feel like they have brushed against heaven, not because of who I am, but because of how close I walk with you. Make me an atmosphere of grace, a vessel of peace, a carrier of your presence in boardrooms, back streets, kitchens, and classrooms. Let the way I live preach louder than any words I speak. Let my forgiveness soften even the hardest conversations. Let my patience be a quiet revolution. Let my compassion disturb the culture of cynicism. Let my joy be defiant against despair. Let my life be a prophetic act of hope. And when the temptation comes to withdraw again, to retreat into numbness or distraction, pull me back with cords of unfailing love. Remind me that hiding may feel safe, but healing happens in the light. And you, Lord, are light, not the harsh glare of judgment, but the warm glow of welcome. You invite, not accuse. You beckon, not berate. And in your light, I see who I truly am, not the sum of my mistakes, but the masterpiece you are restoring. So, restore me in places I thought were beyond repair, in places I stopped praying about because I assumed silence meant rejection. I bring them to you again, the broken pieces, the forgotten corners, the weary parts of my identity still tangled in lies. Reclaim them, rename them, redeem them, like you did with Peter after his denial, like you did with Thomas in his doubt, like you did with the thief on the cross, who had only one breath left but used it to believe. Because you are not just the God of beginnings. You are the God of again, of new mercies, of second chances, of 70 times 7 grace. You do not just mend wounds. You make scars holy. You do not just clean up messes. You turn them into miracles. You do not just erase shame. You replace it with radiant honor. So I come boldly, not because I am unbroken, but because you invite me, and I say yes, yes to healing, even when it is slow, yes to growth, even when it stretches me, yes to obedience, even when I do not understand, yes to surrender, even when it costs more than I thought, yes to joy, even when grief lingers nearby, yes to trusting you with the story you are still writing, with the plot twists I did not see coming, with the promises that feel delayed but never forgotten in heaven. I say yes to being shaped, not just used, but transformed, not just placed, but prepared, not just called, but consecrated. Make me holy not as a performance, but as an overflow of love, holiness that chooses integrity when no one's watching, that returns good for evil, that honors without demand, that carries peace into places that ache with division, that bends low when pride rises. I want to look like you, Jesus, to live like you, to love like you, not just admire your life from a distance, but embody it from the inside out. So form me in secret, form me in prayer, form me when no one is clapping, when the crowd thins, when the light dims, form me in the soil of your word. Water me with the dew of your spirit. Let the fruit of intimacy with you be undeniable. And if it takes time, so be it. I do not want to rush what you are making beautiful. I do not want to grasp at what you have not given yet. I do not want to imitate someone else's journey and miss the sacredness of my own. So I place comparison at your feet. I place timelines and trophies, expectations and envy, applause and ambition. I lay it all down. Because you are enough. And because you are enough, I have enough. Enough courage to keep walking. Enough peace to wait with praise. Enough trust to lean in again. Enough perspective to see past this moment. Enough spirit to rise even when the valley tries to keep me. Enough light to guide the next step. And where I lack, you are my portion. You are not a distant deity. I do not chase you. You dwell with me. In me, you have made your home here. And where you dwell, freedom grows. So let freedom bloom wildly. In my mind where anxious thoughts have tried to claim territory. In my relationships where past wounds have silenced love. In my decisions where fear once held the pen. In my worship where inhibition tried to tame fire. Let freedom rise in laughter. In tears, in brave apologies, in bold prayers, in quiet trust. Let it echo in every room I enter. Every story I carry, every generation I bless. Lord, I know you are not just preparing me for something, you are preparing me for yourself, for deeper communion, for unshakable trust, for resilient joy, for a life that reflects the kingdom more than it reflects culture. You are making me not just ready for breakthrough, but capable of stewarding it when it comes. So pour me out, Lord, not for applause, but for purpose. Not to impress, but to serve. Not to be remembered, but to make you known. Let my life be a seed in the soil of your kingdom. Let my surrender crack the shell of self and birth something eternal. Let obedience bloom where I thought only sacrifice would grow. And when the pouring feels costly, remind me that you poured first. You held nothing back, not breath, not blood, not tears. You did not calculate the price of love. You gave it freely. So help me do the same, in love that inconveniences, in compassion that costs time, in generosity that loosens my grip, in patience that stretches past my comfort. Make my love resemble yours, cross-shaped and resurrection-filled. Lord, I do not just want breakthrough for the sake of relief. I want it for the sake of revelation. I want it to see you more clearly, to know you more deeply, to reflect you more faithfully, because sometimes the chains break, but the habits stay. Sometimes the prison opens, but the fear lingers. I do not want to walk out of old patterns, still bound by invisible bars. I want full freedom, not just circumstantial, but cellular. Freedom that rewrites my instincts. Freedom that reteaches my tongue. Freedom that reconciles not just the past, but how I imagine the future. So take every part of me through that refining fire, not to destroy, but to purify, not to punish, but to prepare. Burn away what cannot carry glory. Strip away the layers of self that have grown thick with protection, and reveal the softness underneath the heart that still dares to be molded, the soul that still yearns to be held. Let the fire not consume me, but consume everything that distracts me from you. And when the smoke clears, let what remains be more like Christ. Let humility become my default. Let gratitude become my language. Let worship become my reflex. Let service become my joy. Let prayer become my pulse. Let holiness not feel heavy, but liberating. Let conviction not shame me, but shape me. Let your discipline feel like arms guiding, not hands punishing. Because I know whom you love, you correct, and I receive it not with fear, but with faith that you are making something good out of me. Let my legacy be light, not status, not possessions, not perfection. Let it be light, the kind that lingers in rooms after I have left, the kind that wraps around people long after the conversation ends, the kind that is born in hidden hours of intercession, the kind that points not to me, but to the source. I want to carry light like a torch passed through generations, not as something to boast about, but something to bleed for. The kind that lingers in rooms after I have left. Lord, not because of eloquence, but because of essence. Because you were there, woven into every word, every silence, every glance of compassion. Let my presence carry evidence of time spent in your presence. Let the aroma of my life be worship, the fragrance that rises not from comfort, but from consecration. Make me a vessel that does not leak when cracked, but pours even more fully. And when others forget my name, may they remember your love. When they recall my face, may they feel peace. When they revisit a moment with me, may they sense mercy, because you have written those things into me not as tasks, but as truth, as part of who I am becoming in you. So let the becoming continue, uninterrupted, unhurried. Let transformation take root in stillness, flourish in faithfulness, blossom in surrender. Dante, let me miss the miracle of small obedience, the beauty of saying yes when no one is watching, the weight of lifting another's burden when mine feels too heavy. Teach me that giving is not about having excess, but about trusting the source. That joy is not always loud, it is sometimes steady, silent, enduring. That faith is not flashy, it is firm, anchored, unshaken by winds that only strengthen the soul's foundations. Make my soul sturdy, Lord, not hardened, but strong, strong enough to carry hope into fragile spaces, strong enough to be gentle with the wounds of others, strong enough to rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep, without needing to fix, impress, or escape. Just present, fully, freely, faithfully. As we bring the sacred time of prayer to a pause, I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for joining in this journey of faith, surrender, and breakthrough. Your presence here is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. Every word you whispered in agreement, every quiet amen in your spirit, has echoed in the throne room of heaven. You are seen. You are heard. You are deeply loved. If today's prayer has stirred something within you, I encourage you to continue the conversation with God in your own words. Let this not be the end, but the beginning of a deeper, more intimate walk with Him. Share your own prayers, your own cries, your own praises. God delights in the sound of your voice. And if you feel led, share in the comments below what God is speaking to your heart. Your testimony may become the spark of hope someone else is praying for. Thank you for opening your heart and taking this time to seek Him with me. May the truths declared today carry with you into your relationships, your work, your quiet moments, and your storms. May prayer become your first response, not your last resort, and may your faith rise like a flame that never goes out. Stay encouraged, stay anchored, and stay expectant, for the God who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it.